Let's get some expert perspective. It's a pleasure for me to welcome in Mr. A. Balasubramanian. He's CEO at Birla Sun Life Asset Management Company. Bala, good morning. Good to have you with us here. Thanks very much for your time. What do you make of the data from AMFI, which is the March outflow for the first time since May 2014, Bala?
Yeah. Good morning, Prashant. I think what you mentioned is true from the net when you look at the number from overall perspective. And if you divide this number into two parts, one outflow from the arbitrage schemes, which is the equity arbitrage schemes, has seen an outflow in the month of March. Also, the outflow in the equity was largely on account of schemes where people had come for certain purposes of receiving dividend before the 31st of March, and such kind of redemptions have also come. But if I look at it from a different angle, the money that has come into the diversified equity funds and the other actively managed equity funds have received net inflows. Though in totality, if you look at the number, it looks negative. There is no doubt on that. But specific funds which have got long-term investing as a principle, they have received inflows. Having said that, I think the peak was in terms of flows was December, and Jan, February, we have seen some slowdown in terms of numbers coming in. At the same time, SIP as a book, I think we measure the inflows in the mutual fund not only in the form of lump sum, we also measure in the form of how SIPs are flowing. January, while there was a beginning of the year, there was a bit of dip. But February, the number of SIPs that came into the industries compared to Jan, even compared to December, the numbers were higher. The aggregate, I think one of the number which probably the viewers may not know, even probably you may not track it, which is the monthly inflows into the mutual fund schemes, almost now touching 80 lakh investors, 80 lakh SIPs count, aggregating to a value of roughly about 3,000 crores per month, which is coming into the mutual fund industry. And the same number, if you have to compare for March 2015, the number would have been somewhere around 65 lakh and coming about 2,100 crores. Almost about 900 crores incremental money that is coming into the SIPs. So this I think one has to measure the inflows into the mutual fund scheme.
Okay, let's break it down a little bit. You're saying 80 lakh individuals are investing via SIPs now? That's what you meant?
Exactly. So we measure in two ways. One, what is the count that comes every month, which we call it as an SIP's active folios. Second is the number of people are coming in registering every month. The new investors coming in, new existing investors, increasing the existing SIP book size.
Can I say that there are 80
lakh?
Bala, can I say that there are 80 lakh active SIPs now? Is that the right way to put it?
Exactly.
80 lakh active SIPs compared to, you said 55 lakhs in March of last year, right?
Yeah, roughly about 62 lakhs.
62 last year, right? March of last year.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's a big jump. And you said that SIP flow every month is 3,000 crores.
Yeah, close to about 3,000 crores, an aggregate number for the industry as a whole.
But this would mostly be debt, right?
No, it's mostly almost 95% is equity. And roughly about 3-4% or 5% could be coming into the debt funds.
Okay. So then how does at a net level mutual funds see outflows? If SIPs alone are 3,000 crores.
March is an exceptional month, Prashant. I think March is the month which is an exceptional month for the reason what I just mentioned earlier. While the actively managed equity funds have received inflows, the funds which have received inflows only for certain purpose of receiving a dividend, or it has come only to enjoy the equity spot versus future arbitrage opportunity that comes in. There are investors who are institutional investors who come in. They're also counted as an overall equity inflows when it comes. When it move out, also be counted as an equity outflow. That number itself is close to about 3,000 crores. Therefore, I think the number which has to look at it, one, how much is coming in retail, and how SIP are happening. And the third is, has there been a significant trend change that is in lump sum, which I would partially agree with that.
Right. No, so do you have the retail number? Is it possible to get the retail number?
No, retail number is something which is the SIP is one number, and second is the average inflows only in the diversified equity fund would range in the form of roughly about 3,400 crores.
Sorry, I missed that last part. The audio dipped. You said retail going into equity diversified every month would be another 3,000 crores.
Yeah, see, I think, Prashant, you have to look at this number, because totality, if you look at it, the number would look negative. But if we break this into flows that is coming to the diversity equity funds, while that number was lower than, say, November or December, even to some extent Jan, but that number is not negative. It's still net inflow that has come. And then second way to look at this is the SIP as a book size through which the retail investors participate, who do not care about market fluctuation, but they only come with the purpose of investing for long term. That flows continues to remain strong. But the net number looking at will never give you a right picture from the bigger perspective.
So the crux of it is you're saying that outflow which we've seen is mainly from equity arbitrage schemes, right?
Yes,
and
exactly.
that's the main reason. The retail money into SIPs via SIPs remains strong. Via directly into equity diversified schemes, that also remains positive, although that is lower from last month, right? Many months.
Exactly.
Is the SIP also, the new addition in SIP also taken a hit? I mean, is the rate slower now, much slower? I would assume so.
No, it continues to remain somewhat positive. I think the month-on-month, we see an uptick.
I mean, how many new SIP accounts are opened every month, roughly? I mean, over the last many months, what's the monthly average?
No, I think the registration, if you take, if we have to look at for the industry as a whole, though I don't know the right number for the industry as a whole, I think if you have to take a benchmark number, roughly about almost about in the range of about 5 lakh registration must be happening every month. I'm just giving just a bigger picture calculation. I'm just looking at extrapolating number that we get on the basis of we at least extrapolated for the industry as a whole. The number would be somewhere around 5 to 5.5 lakh registration happens every month.
Right. So Bala, the net number is calculated, the gross inflow minus minus sales minus redemptions, right? That's how it's calculated.
Exactly.
What are redemptions looking like now? I mean, can you give us some perspective?
No, redemptions are not many. I think the redemptions are largely, as I just mentioned about, those are only in those schemes where people had come with some kind of purpose. And otherwise, the redemption numbers are not plenty. On the contrary, with the equity market having now bounced back, I think the market gave a smart bounce back from almost about 6,900 to 7,600. That, I think, retained the confidence level for investing in equity. At the same time, though it did not lead to a substantial increase in inflows coming in, at the same time did not result in any significant outflow from the MF industry.
Okay, fair enough. I just want to get a quick sense from, about insurance companies as well, right? They were sellers of close to some $830 million in the month of March, highest since January of 2015. What's happening there? Some perspective, Bala, on that? Insurance companies?
Though I don't have any clue on that with respect to what could have led to this selling coming from insurance companies. But if you look at the historical trend, the insurance companies do get a significant inflow before March. At the same time, the insurance companies also have been running a product for, for last 5 years or 10 years. And some of them would have even got matured such as ULIP, which happened for the industry about few months back, I think it could be largely on account of some of the schemes would have got matured. Though I don't have the exact details for me to actually elaborate more on this, but that could be one of the reasons I would assume.
Just to come back to your domain of expertise, which is equity mutual funds, Bala, what would be the, aggregate industry equity cash levels right now?
See, equity assets, if you look at it, the total equity assets, it would be roughly about 3,85,000 crores. The average cash, if you take for the industry as a whole, it should be in the range of about, say, 5 to 6%. If you take that as a number, I think close to about 12 to 14,000 crores must be an aggregate cash flow what the industry must be sitting. Though this is not a number which is validated by me, but I'm just going by generally the fund managers follow of occasions like this kind. They don't go with a fully invested portfolio. 3 to 4% normally the cash stays in the fund. And if you apply that same principle for the entire 3,80,000 crores of industry size, that much of the cash they must be sitting.
Okay. So about 5 to 6 odd % average cash level you were saying, right?
Exactly.
Okay, got that. Bala, thank you very much. Appreciate your perspective and thanks for your patience for explaining all that very nicely for our viewers.